All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, getting into the James Harden drama, as you guys can see on the thumbnail, and his beef with Daryl Morey, and explaining as much as possible as I can as to what is happening and why it is happening. I've done a lot of research this morning trying to get a grasp of the situation. And first and foremost, let's look at the quote. James Harden said, "Daryl Morey is a liar. I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of." Now that's important, obviously, because this has never, at least from my understanding, happened with the player talking directly about a GM of an organization ever. You know, we've heard a lot of players wanting out, even James Harden wanting out of a spot, but never for something like this. So this was pretty crazy. There will be more to look at. I just want to show a couple of top comments. Top comment right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. This is about as toxic and effective as he could have taken this to get the move out of Philly. Way more powerful than the fat suit. The fat suit doesn't just show up really fat. It's a training camp. Two more. Not gonna lie, I'm devastated, but from an unbiased perspective, this is fucking hilarious. Yeah. Not so much for Sixers fans. The fact that he did it in China is just bravo, NBA writers. Well, because to those of you out of the loop, Daryl Morey got into huge trouble talking about China, and it caused a lot of issues with the NBA. I'm not going to get into that whole situation. That is a whole nother discussion. But anyway, let's get into why James Harden said these specific quotes. So if we take a look back to last year, right? Let's see. Do I have that pulled up? No, I'm just going to have to tell you. Okay, so James Harden took a $15 million pay cut to make the team better. And in that pay cut, it was presumed that he was to take a larger contract this summer. Come this summer, he opts in, but they never, I guess, came to an agreement on an extension, which is what's leading to Harden acting like this. Let's read this quote up top. "As an executive, you can never lie to players or make promises you cannot fulfill. Once that occurs, it's over and there's no way out. Harden took less, expecting more the next year, and now it's a mess. No PR propaganda will save them now. If other players around the league and on the Sixers begin to believe Morey will make financial promises to them that he won't keep, I can't imagine the Sixers will be inclined to keep Morey around much longer." So, again, like I said earlier, he took a big pay cut. It was a big deal because, again, you know, they got to bring in PJ Tucker and Daniel House, which they wouldn't have if Harden didn't take the pay cut. Harden took the pay cut expecting a big payday the next year, opted in. You know, either way, kind of forcing him to stay once he opts in. But even after he opted in, he never got that extension. So huge problem. Even the top comment right here also that they could overpay PJ Tucker and Daniel House. This is an important comment right here. I love that people respond, "Yeah, well, GMs lie," as if that's something the players have to respect. LOL. This isn't ending well for the 76ers. That's important because unlike a traditional job, if your boss lies to you, there's nothing you can do about it. You have no leverage. NBA players have all the leverage in the world because they are the product. They are, for one, what makes an organization great. You know, guys like James Harden, or at least good. If you want to say James Harden isn't great, but at least good, you can't deny the value that he brings to the team. Averages 20 plus points, 10 assists. Say what you want about him in the playoffs. He is an elite player if healthy. When not healthy, he is not an elite player. It's that simple. This past year, he had a really good year. And even in the playoffs, Joel Embiid let the team down more than he did. It's just really a fact. You can't really deny that. Joel Embiid didn't show up. Now, you could say Joel Embiid was playing hurt. Fair point. No dispute there from me. But you still can't deny that this guy makes a team better. That's just a fact. So him not getting his payday and being lied to, presumably, is going to be a problem. Getting into this quote from Danny Green. "If James Harden was promised something, I think you need to come through with that promise." Danny Green. That's important, again, because now you're talking about players' perspectives. And if James Harden was promised a big contract or a max contract, Daryl Morey shaking his hand saying, "Yeah, that's going to happen. We'll make that happen." Following year, he doesn't make that happen. of course it's going to cause an issue. And I can't tell you a time again where a player has reacted this heavily, right? Even a player of James Harden's level, again, an elite level, has reacted that heavily to never wanting to play for Daryl Morey or a GM in general ever again. So it's a really, really bad look. This is a huge post, and the fallout is pretty crazy. So I'm curious as to what's going to happen in terms of, is James Harden going to stay with the Sixers and they file Daryl Morey? Is James Harden going to be a sitting duck and just not play for the team? Is he going to get traded, or what exactly is going to happen? But if you haven't followed any of that, to sum it up, the important thing is James Harden took a pay cut, presumably, again, based off comments like for example, Kyrie Irving commented on it. Let's look that up real quick, just so we can get another player's perspective. Okay, right here, disgruntled Harden calls 76ers Prez Morey a liar. Okay, so Kyrie basically replied. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it better. Get these ads out of our freaking face. Kyrie replied, "Is he disgruntled, Adrian, or is he holding Daryl Morey accountable for his dishonesty and lack of transparency throughout the contract negotiation process this summer?" Again, player's perspective, it is a big deal. Even if you dislike or like Kyrie, it's always good to try to understand the mind of all parties. And for Daryl Morey, it's easy to understand his situation. He wanted, of course, to get James Harden to take a pay cut because he wanted the players. As a GM, you obviously want a better team. Now, his hesitancy to give James Harden a bag is he's thinking, well, he's 33 years old. Is he really worth it? It's easy to understand both sides, but it doesn't change that if you make a promise to a player, again, especially of James Harden's caliber, and especially as beloved by his teammates as he is, no matter where James Harden goes, teammates don't talk shit about him. You can do any research you want. He has always been close to his teammates. You go back to the Rockets days, Jalen Green. Well, I mean, Jalen Green did have a weird comment about him coming to Houston, but while he was there, Jalen Green did love him. Kevin Porter Jr. did love him. They talked him up big time. Even in Philly, Danny Green saying something like that. If Danny Green didn't like him, I don't think he would say something like that. But it's just a weird situation. And again, summing it up, James Harden took the pay cut, promised a bigger contract the next year. The year comes, he opts in because he thinks he's going to get a bigger contract. He does not get that contract. He is furious because Daryl Morey promised him that, and he's like, dude, fuck this guy. I literally took a pay cut the year before. You're messing with my money. And Daryl Morey, on the other hand, is not going to even honor the trade that Harden requested. So James Harden, of course, is furious because he didn't get his bag. Daryl Morey played with his money, and now he's not even going to honor his trade. Now, I don't want to get into the whole stars asking for trades. It's a whole nother conversation. But again, strictly looking from James Harden's point of view, it makes sense as to why he's pissed off. And I don't know if GMs typically lie to players like this, or if James Harden really is just one of the few that have been lied to like this. Especially with that kind of money, $15 million is not a little bit of money, guys. I don't care who you are. $15 million is a lot. And even if you just take it for principles, right? You don't want to play for a snake. You don't want to play for an organization that keeps a snake. So it makes sense as to why James Harden's furious, but that's the drama explained. And hopefully you guys can walk away a little bit more knowledgeable about the situation. I'm not defending James Harden. I'm not defending Daryl Morey. I'm just simply giving insight as to why people are mad, why this is happening, and whether or not there comes to a clean solution, I don't know. To be honest, this is a messy situation as is, and of course, it's not a coincidence that when Woj 2 days ago literally says James Harden's not gonna get traded, Daryl Morey wants him by training camp. Of course, it's not a coincidence that James Harden says this as of this morning. So it's been a hectic time. But I mean, grab your popcorn because it seems like this isn't going to end anytime soon. But I appreciate you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I will give as much insight as possible. But I feel like I answered most of the questions. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. This is Holly Been Different. We've been different. And we out.